This simple video podcast makes around $7 million a year in passive income. In today's video, I'll show you how to recreate a similar business using AI. Take a look at this short clip from the podcast I created.
Okay, so you ready to go down a rabbit hole?
Always.
All right, so a bunch of you sent in some articles about AI taking over YouTube. And I gotta say, it's got me thinking. Like, seriously thinking.
Yeah, where do we even begin with this one?
I mean, it's not like robots are out there holding cameras.
Amazing, right? I'll be going over everything from generating the podcast idea and script to creating realistic audio and video, all with AI. There's no need for you to have any tech skills, expensive studio gear, or even be on camera. I'll also cover where and how to post it to start making passive income. A business like this could be yours with just a basic laptop and an internet connection in just 10 minutes. Here's how. First thing is to create some ideas and a script. Go to ChatGPT and ask it to generate a few podcast ideas if you need inspiration. You can type in this prompt: give me 10 ideas for podcasts I can create that are based on a wide scope of popular culture. You can copy this prompt from the description. If you don't like the results, just modify the prompt to be more specific to your liking or ask for 10 more ideas. I already know what I want my podcast to be about, so let's just ask it to generate a YouTube video script. Even though we're using a video script as the base, I'll show you how to turn this into a podcast after, and you'll see why. For this example, I asked for a script titled "How Automated YouTube Channels Are Changing the Game with AI." But for you, it can just be a general topic, or you can be as specific as you want. At the end of the prompt, add these instructions you see on the screen. Make sure the outputted text is just the transcript for narration with no editing instructions, stage cues, or anything else. You can copy this prompt from the description. You can also automate the length and the style of language for ease of listening through GPT's Canvas mode. So if you want a video on that, make sure to subscribe below because I'll be dropping that in-depth tutorial on the new GPT Canvas mode soon. But it doesn't need to be perfect if you're just trying it out, just enough content for us to work with. So for this example, I'll continue with what we have. So go ahead and select it all and then copy the script. Next, we're going to go to NotebookLM. This is a revolutionary AI tool that's made by Google, and it allows you to create FAQs, study guides, and more from your own uploaded documents. But those aren't the features we're interested in today. We're here to make money, not study. First, click Create, then click Paste Text, and then paste that script in from ChatGPT. After that, hit Insert. It's going to take a few minutes to process, and once it's done, you'll see a list of those options we mentioned earlier. We're only going to use a section called Audio Overview and Deep Dive with 2 hosts. This will be used to create our high-quality podcast audio. Click on Generate. Go drink some water or tea and do some push-ups for about 5 or 10 minutes. Then when you come back, you'll have your AI-generated podcast conversation ready. Let's listen to it.
Okay, so you ready to go down a rabbit hole?
Always.
All right, so a bunch of you sent in some articles about AI taking over YouTube.
Crazy, right? You can hear how they talk. It's almost like real people. It's not perfect. The timing and tone can be a bit off, but it's good enough to feel real. If someone was listening in their car and this podcast just came on without them looking at the description, they probably wouldn't even notice it's AI. Okay, so let's download it by clicking the 3 dots to the top right in the player, then hit download. Now, before we make the video, the next step is to separate the voices. You'll understand why this is important in a minute. Any free editing software can do this, like CapCut or DaVinci, but for this demo, I'm going to show you 2 methods with Adobe Premiere Pro. One is more automated and one is more manual. First, let's do the manual one. This is good for shorter podcasts. Drop in the audio file, and what we're going to do is we're going to make an edit every time the speaker changes. Pretty straightforward. Pro tip: I use the L key to play it forward at faster speed, and you can press it multiple times to make playback go even faster. Then I use the C key as a shortcut to make cuts. This is a custom key. To set this up, go to the edit menu, click on keyboard shortcuts, search for add edit, then change it to C. I'm only going to do the first few seconds here as an example of this method because the other one's faster, and I'm also going to cut out any weird sounding glitches or artifacts in the audio. Now, once all the voices are separated, hold shift down on your keyboard as you select all the clips from one speaker, and while continuing to hold shift, slide it down to the second track. Now you can mute one track at a time and export each voice separately as a WAV file. Now let's go over the more automated method. This is best used for very long podcasts, and this uses Adobe's transcription service. Once you import your audio file, go to the window menu and then click on text, then click transcript. It will create a transcript of the audio file and separate it by speaker. Now hold down the Alt or Option key on your keyboard and drag the audio clip down to the second audio track to create a copy. Then lock the first audio track. In the transcript, highlight the first line by speaker 1, then hit Alt or Option on your keyboard and the backspace button at the same time. This will delete speaker 1's voice from the first track without shifting anything out of place. The speaker's lines will still be visible in the transcript because they're still in the track below it, but don't delete them a second time. Just make sure the clip is gone from the first track. Then do this for all the rest of the lines by speaker 1. This is a lot faster since you don't have to listen to the entire podcast, and you can just make cuts visually instead. Once all the first host's lines are taken off the first track, you're now left with a second host's voice only on the first track. Go to the second track and unlock it. Now lock the first track and do the same thing for all the lines again, except this time we're deleting speaker 2's lines, which leaves us with speaker 2 only on one track and speaker 1 on the other. Now you can give the whole thing one final listen to make minor adjustments if it's needed. Use the L key to listen faster. Once that's done, mute one track at a time and export each voice separately as a WAV file. Now we're ready to make the video. We're going to use HeyGen to combine these audio files with speaking avatars. Head over to heygen.com and sign in or create an account. Click create video on the left, choose avatar video, then landscape, and select an avatar that looks good for the context. The goal is to make it seem like they're looking at each other, so avoid avatars that stare straight into the camera. Choose one of the avatars under the casual category because they look natural, just like a podcast host would. After you select an avatar, select the sample audio track on the bottom and hit delete on your keyboard. Now hit the upload button and upload one of your speaker's audio files. Keep in mind with the free version, you're limited to 3 minutes of audio at a time. So if your video podcast is longer, you could just do it in segments. If you'd rather not deal with those limitations, you could always just pay for the upgraded version. It's still way cheaper and easier than creating a real podcast with live equipment and hosts and hours of filming. But either way, for now, the free version works. Once the audio is uploaded, click submit. Allow the video to process in the background, and in the meantime, you'll need to do this process twice, one for each speaker. Now the videos are done processing, let's take a look at one of them.
Okay, so you ready to go down a rabbit hole? All right, so a bunch of you sent in some articles about AI taking over YouTube.
Looks pretty good. Now let's put them together. Download the videos, and back in Premiere Pro, import the videos you just created. Add the first avatar to one video track and the second to another. Mute the audio that came with the videos since we already have that on our timeline. Or if you're starting a new project, then you can keep that audio. We're gonna create a split screen effect now, something that makes it look like they're sitting across from each other, but they're being recorded using different cameras. Position the avatars with the position and scale effects under the effects control menu, so they appear to be facing each other. And also add the crop effect, and use it to even them out in the center. If you want, you can add some feathering with the crop effect or a border between them to make the edge look more or less defined. It's really up to your personal artistic preference here. Let's have a quick look at the final product. Here's a different part of the podcast that you didn't see at the beginning.
So it's like having a whole film crew made of robots.
Kind of, yeah. It's like this 24/7 content machine.
Okay, so anyone with an internet connection could be a YouTube star now. No film crew, no voice training, no problem. Are there actually channels out there doing this?
Oh yeah, tons. The articles you sent mentioned a couple.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? I'll show you how to monetize this in a second, but first, I know it's not perfect. Some hand gestures might look a little awkward, but overall, it's pretty close. Just imagine what this will look like a year from now when things get even better. The idea is to make this as immersive as possible. You can even use Photoshop AI to add some microphones in, or you could do this with avatars that look straight forward at the camera and make it look like they're doing a virtual podcast over Zoom. That way, you don't have to worry about making it look like they're in the same scene. Now let's get ready to make some money. Export your video as an MP4. After that, go back to Premiere Pro and export once more, but this time uncheck video and choose .wav to export just the audio conversation. Next, head over to YouTube and upload the podcast. You can create a new channel if you need to, or upload it to a channel of a similar niche. For the audio only version, we'll use Anchor. Go to anchor.fm. You'll see this thing that says Spotify for podcasters because it's recently been rebranded. Here you can upload it and distribute the podcast for free across all major platforms. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you like content on AI, content creation, and business. If you're interested in how I make engaging YouTube videos just like this, check out this video on the left to learn, or watch this video on the right to learn how to make a simple children's book with ChatGPT that you can sell on Amazon for hundreds of thousands of dollars.